We start with the Giants falling to the Cardinals and out of first place in the NFC East.
Oh, I'm waking up to this one. This was a nightmare scenario for the Giants, not only because they got it handed to them on the defensive end, but the Washington football team also won. So now they aren't in charge of their own destiny. The lead in the NFC East is completely gone, and they do have a much tougher schedule than the Washington football team and the Eagles and the Cowboys. That being said, Alex Smith did get injured again, so now you kind of never know. You don't know what's going to happen there. They got a whole lot of it's uphill sledding for the Giants right now. So I'm waking up to this, even though it was a rough night for them. It's hard to stop Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray in consecutive weeks for any defense. So I mean, I'm waking up to it.
That part, Kyler Murray looks back to full strength and healthy. My heartstrings are being pulled apart. You're talking about my home team and also my work team. And this is what I will say. Out of this, I'd like to see Daniel Jones get completely healthy. I hope that Joe Judge thinks big picture. We're obviously going to talk with Nick Mango a little bit about decision-making when it comes to that lingering hammy injury as well. All right, now we go to your team. The roll continues in the big tank as the Jets fall to Seattle 40-3. They only mustered 185 total yards and 12 first downs. Tell me why this is a good thing. Wake up call or hit snooze.
Let's wake up. The tank rolls on New York City. This is a good thing. You know it's bad. You know it's really bad when Geno Smith subs into the third quarter, could look at his old team and be like, you know what? We was never this bad. And it's true. It's true. The Giants got absolutely drubbed by the Seattle Seahawks. And you know what? The tank rolls on, baby. Let's go. As your tank commander, can't be happier than watching the Jets get clobbered as they should. And it's not over yet. The Jaguars are right on their heels. So they got to fight to the end and continue to stink as only they can stink, to get our bright orange prize at the end of the rainbow down in Clemson.
I'm glad that you have such perspective on this issue. The fact that this is a fight to the death, to the bottom. My only concern, and again, I can't wait for Nick to come through today, now becomes injuries. Because, I mean, when you get out there and you're playing around, that's when stupid things happen. So, yeah, we'll talk to Nick about that a little later on. All right, we hyped it up all last week. We finally got a first glimpse at the 2020-2021 Knicks squad under Coach Tibbs. Impressions of the Knicks' first two preseason games. Wake up call or hit the snooze, Kaz?
For the sake of the game, I'm going to wake up to this, but I wish I could be waking up and snoozing at the same time. Friday, they looked good. And the one thing that I was excited about is that they were active on defense. They looked like a Tom Thibodeau coach team. There was hands everywhere. There was deflections. Obi Toppin looked the part on the first game. And outside of a shaky first quarter for RJ Barrett, he's played pretty well. He's looked like a guy who's ready to take the leap in the second year. But the one thing is, they're going to need a lot of scoring. They're going to need a lot of help putting the ball in the hoop. You can scheme all you want. You can coach all you want. You can play defense all you want. At the end of the day, you got to put the ball in the hoop. And the Knicks had a little bit of trouble doing that outside of RJ Barrett and Alec Burks is what it looks like. So I'm waking up to this, though.
Okay. I'm with you. I was watching the post-game show with our boys, Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, and Wally Zerbiak on Friday, and I love what you said. They said Blake Griffin looked like, wait, what's going on? This defense is a little bit too intense for a preseason game. So that was promising. I did like the way that RJ came back. We've talked about that chip that's going to be on his shoulder about not being named to the rookie team. He put in 25 and 15 respectively in those two games. And I think key role players. I mean, Alec Burke, to me, Nerlens Noel, who had 18 rebounds combined in the two games. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Some promise from the youngster and Obi as well.
Obi looked good. Not so much last night, but there's promise there. So I'm waking up to this.
The entire draft process is based on the promise and potential. Who are we kidding? All right. This one's national news. The Cleveland MLB squad, formerly the Cleveland Indians, they've announced that they're going to change their name. Wake up caller, hit the snooze, Kaz.
I know I'm hitting the wake-up button a lot, but I'm waking up to this one. Obviously, you always got to show love to indigenous people. As long as I've been a sports fan, there have been some pretty insensitive and just downright disgusting nicknames for a lot of these, franchises and Major League sports teams. I'm glad, even though it's 2020, even though it's taking them forever, I'm glad the Cleveland franchise is taking the steps to change their name. If they're going to go with the name, man, I think they should hop on the WNBA, call them the Cleveland Rockers or something, or go real simple and maybe the Cleveland baseball team. I mean, there's a whole lot of prestige that goes to like just calling your team a baseball club or a football team or something like that. I don't know. It gives me soccer vibes. It gives me football vibes.
First of all, let me give you a shout out, my good partner, for being so hip to the WNBA for real that you remember the Cleveland Rockers.
OG squad right there. And the logo was fire too. I was like, yo, they could go with that.
Yes. That was a great team back in the day. Shout out to my girl, Rusha Brown, who was on that squad now in leadership with the Los Angeles Sparks, I believe. But to your point, I think that's great. We have to get out of our own way as a society. Certain things are okay. We know better, so we begin to do better. And I applaud the MLB leaders for this Cleveland squad for making this decision. I got a wild call last night on my radio show that I'm not going to give too much credit, but I will say to fans that are struggling, the team is still there. Just get over it. Do something that respects another group of people. You're right. You'll be all right. It's fine. All right. Wake up call or hit the snooze. Now, this was scary over the weekend, Kaz. Florida star forward Keontae Johnson collapsed during Florida's game against Florida State University. Now, Keontae was SEC preseason player of the year and did test positive for COVID back in the summer.
Yeah, I'm waking up to this one, and not only should I wake up to this one, the entire sports world should wake up to this, okay? This is the doomsday scenario for all things sports, right? You got a guy like Keontae Johnson, who I've watched since high school, who is an absolute future NBA pro, collapsing in the middle of the game, and there's a possibility that it could be long-term effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. So if there's anything that can completely shut down the entire sports world again, it is something like this, all right? It's no game. I don't care what it is. I don't care who's playing. No game is worth a human life, all right? The one time that something happens that's catastrophic, and thank God he's stable, but he was in critical condition after the game happened. I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So if there's anything that can completely shut down sports again, it's this sort of situation happening. My prayers are out to Johnson and his family, his future. I mean, you hate to see that. And I hope everybody's doing the right thing and really starting to take heed of what is going on in the world. And hopefully Keontae will be okay.
Well said. I could not agree with you more. Now, the simple link for folks wondering, one of the after effects that's been linked to the COVID-19 virus is myocarditis, which is a condition that causes otherwise healthy athletes, for example, Keontae Johnson, to suddenly have issues in terms of the way that their heart regulates their blood through their body, and you see collapses like this. To your point, most importantly, we hope that he makes a full, total recovery, and this is not something that stunts the rest of his potential athletic career. I will say that I was a little bit disappointed in Mike White, head coach of Florida. According to the AP, Leonard Hamilton of FSU asked if the game should continue. The kids are visibly shaken, tears on their knees. I believe that game should have been called. I understand that the kids wanted to play, according to White, but sometimes this is why leaders are leaders. And so as
you gotta be a leader at that point.
We all need to be very, very mindful.
You got to take the decision out of their hands, man. That game should have stopped immediately.
I agree.